Okay, it is 9:53 a.m. I've had two trades and I'm kind of iffy. I don't really want to necessarily trade as much. Unfortunately, it's because of the fact that eTrade Pro has a glitched screen. So what I'm doing is actually looking at my second screen with TD Immediate Trade loaded. So that's what I'm basically doing. I'm looking at the level 2 here on this screen and the watch list. And then the other screen, I'm actually looking at the chart because this thing is glitched. I try to reload it. It does seem like an issue looking at the chat room with other people. It's not just me. So I've been watching GEGI and TGGI. I guess I'll have to bring the screen over to this section somehow, but essentially I did trade TGGI because this thing was interesting. It's now 15.7 by 15.8. That's pretty cool, but unfortunately I was just thrown off because of the fact that the charts are all glitched. I was looking at it because it was looking like a nice potential breakout, multi-day breakout above this 15 range. You can see it was a pretty massive support and resistance level for a very long period of time. And then when we finally broke past it here in the morning, I did buy at 9:35, 12, not 12, wow, 20,000 shares at 15.2. And again, the fact that the charts are just screwed up and everything, I just was not really able to hold on to it for that long, and I got out of it eventually. I need to figure out a way to do this and not show like all my info, I guess, but I'll make an update later. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get a chart to show up here, and yeah, until then, I'll probably work on that and probably won't take too long. Okay, we're just going to do it like this, and I guess I'll just go over the first two setups, and yep, GEGI is failing to bounce once again. Big surprise. Let's look at first TGGI. Again, this was the multi-day breakout range over this 15 level, and I did, yeah, that looks kind of weird. Let me zoom out of it. All right, that looks better. I did buy again 20,000 shares at 15.2. That was at 9:35, which was right here, 15.2. And I was watching it because there was a lot of sellers at 15. And once it showed that it was starting to break past 15, I did place my order. Unfortunately, I didn't get filled until the very top of my limit, 15.2, but at least I got in. And I was just having that issue where my not TD Immediate Trade, but my E-Trade account, the charts were just looking like this. It just wasn't doing anything. The level 2 was accurate, but the chart was doing this. I started to log into TD Immediate Trade, and then it just got to that point where I just wasn't really comfortable with the way this was going, that I have to look at the level 2, and then, I was loading TD Immediate Trade, and, I was just thinking, what if this thing is glitched and it's not even trading at this price? What if we're lagging by a few minutes? Because there was a point with eTrade Pro where like the charts would just be 5 minutes behind. So it just was uncomfortable. I did hold on to it for a little. I did get out at 9:38 at the same price, so this was a scratch. But it did, continue to work. It made a move as high as 15.5. It made a low right here at 15.3. And I mean, now it's, trading right under that 16 level. And I'm not sure. Yeah, there are some people selling at the ask. But if we have enough volume and it breaks past it, maybe it can uptrend for a longer period of time. I think I was on the right track. If I, in theory, had the charts working, everything properly, normally on eTrade Pro, I probably would have been able to have traded this better and still be in a position, maybe half of my position. But yeah, that was just the case, unfortunately. And then the second trade with GEGI was like a slow morning panic bounce play. The stock is down like 20% on the day. Right now it's 26% on the day because it failed when I traded it, but maybe it'll try to bounce at some point. I'm not too optimistic on this thing bouncing because it has shown to be really ugly when it comes to trying to bounce. It's actually like a better short selling setup. I was long at 949 at 13.2, and that was right here. This one, again, I got filled at the very top of my limit, unfortunately. Again, I did see like the turnaround right here. I like how we had like a wick here at 127, another one And then this one got a little higher, but then it showed that there was such a strong amount of people at the bid. It just seems like it was harder and harder for it to get back to this 125 level. And yeah, I tried to place an order. GEGI just trades like that. It has an ugly spread and it trades very quickly when it's actually trying to transition or make a move from one side to the other. I did get filled though, at least at 13.2. And yeah, it just started to look like it was doing some topping action. I tried to give it a chance and everything. And I got out at 9.52 and that was at 13.3. I got out right here and it did continue to downtrend over a longer period of time. It didn't get to VWAP, which was very close to this, so I could have actually broken past it. And yeah, I'll just continue to watch it. Maybe I'll try to trade off a 12, but I don't want to just chase, this thing all the way down and, just consistently get paper cut from a bunch of weak bounces that don't work out that much. So I'll probably try to stay away from this one. And I'm probably just going to try to stay away from trading in general just because of the way the charts are screwed up today. But in theory, TGGI is working. This was not too bad setup. It is kind of slow the way it trades, but it is uptrending past that 15 level. It wasn't like a little baby blip and then it just comes right back under. It's actually trying to establish above this level. And who knows, maybe this is something that can be held on for a longer period of time. Not something I really do that much, but I want to get better at swing trading. I'll make an update later. I'll try to see if this chart will work with E-Trade Pro. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just hold back on, any potential setups just because I'm not at the best, situation in terms of my tools here. All right, it is 11:27, and I did have a trade with GEGI. This one did not work out, unfortunately, and it sucks. It's just a stupid pump and dump that doesn't know how to bounce, unfortunately. I think it can try to make a move towards VWAP at some point, but I do take into consideration other stocks like GGII that didn't offer any kind of a bounce when it actually had a panic. You can see it had a gap up, but it didn't actually bounce when it was making the move. So that's the case with GGII. I did trade this one appropriately. Of course, this one didn't work out, but did I say GGII? I meant GEGI, although they both traded around the same. It just didn't work out. I did buy 20,000 shares at 11.18, which was right here. And it was so sad because after I bought, there was nothing but people dumping their shares at the bid. It was just so sad. But it was a possibility that, we got past the 11 a.m. time period. We were down 30% on the day. Big red day. It can try to regain itself, get above VWAP, and maybe you'll try to do it. Maybe you'll touch it later, but not when I tried. And the ultimate day low was this 11.5 level. So after I bought once again at 11.18, really lame because it just was just a bunch of selling price action. It was taking out the bid, and then it started the downtrend some more, which sucked. And there was like a 400k bidder supporting 11.5, which was nice. And then when it looks like it was starting to chip past it and break it, I did get out at 11.26, my 20,000 shares at 11.5. I traded this one perfectly because, my risk level was a day low. And whenever I'm in a setup and my risk level is a day low, I will try to get out, even if it doesn't break the day low, if it looks like it's going to break it. So it looked like it was going to break 11.5, and that is what happened. It could have maybe have looked like it was just barely going to break it, and then it could have uptrended, but it was really looking like it was going to get below 15.5, and there was that 15.5, 11.5, and there was also that chance that maybe it breaks 11.5 and then 11.4 is at the bid, but it doesn't actually have any sales down there, and then it continues the uptrend. But yeah, this thing was just sad. It was just sad, but I want to see if it can do it later, even if it's without me being in the setup. And I will make an update later. This was a bigger loss because I did have a larger position size, but I think that was fine. I thought worst case scenario, we break 11.5 the day low and it starts to panic and I'm out with slippage at 1 penny, and that would have been a $40 loss. Why should do a turnaround without me? This stock just sucks in general. I'll try to avoid trading it because it just doesn't offer the ability to bounce and it does offer good opportunity for short setups. Once again, I think I mentioned that before. I was also looking at TGGI. This thing was like a head and shoulders setup where it looks like it makes a shoulder right here. It has a dip, makes the head, and then it has a dip. I was watching for a turnaround. I had a trend line, but unfortunately made it like a really lame move right here. It didn't offer like a gradual uptrend. It was all quick, and then it kind of came back. Maybe I could have been in this candle right here when it downtrended at 16.5, but it only got as high as 16.9. It didn't break above VWAP, and the shoulder played out, and it's been downtrending ever since. So yeah, that's pretty much the case with right now. I will make an update later, and I need to get used to using this because who knows how long eTrade Pro is gonna have issues with their charts, but good attempt because you know it could have worked out and it would have been pretty profitable. But yeah, lately these OTCs, especially these that are really pumped, they just don't seem to offer the opportunity to bounce. So that just means I'm less interested in putting money into them. But it could have worked out. And I don't think I'll trade anything else, but if I do, I will make an update later, if not at the market close. All right, it is 4:12 p.m. and I am here to call it off. It ended up being a little bit of a red day. I'll be down $4.50. This was just looking at TGGI, seeing what it would have been like if the setup, played out properly like it did, but I didn't get thrown off. Today kind of sucked because the charts were broken in the morning, and I did have that trade with TGGI that did work out. I was long right here at the top of my limit at 15.2. It did get a little higher to 15.5, downtrended a little, and then it made a move towards the upside, and then I like how I made this higher low off of here, and then it got higher as high as 16.5, and I just figured maybe what would have been like if I sold maybe at 16 somewhere in the middle. I don't know how I would have traded it, but I'm glad that in theory I was on the right track. It just didn't end up working out because I was thrown off with how we were having issues with the charts, and I just didn't want to be in a setup when I don't have my tools working properly. Totally sucks, but that's fine. I mean, the chance that something like that happens again is pretty low. So I guess until the next Labor Day, I don't have to worry about something like that. Or maybe another holiday that takes a day out of the week and then it throws off the charts again. Who knows? I was also looking at it for a potential buy before the close because of the fact that it is holding above the 15 level, and this thing is known to do like a move where it kind of breaks a range and then it options for multiple days. Unfortunately, it just did it right here at the end of the day, and at this point, I didn't want to chase. I would have actually have liked it if it were to have closed kind of ugly looking at the end of the day, so then it has that momentum, that buying power that we see here, maybe saved for the morning of the next day for a morning spike. But now I will be watching TGGI for a dip and rip setup. That will be interesting. This one I never really looked at, but this will be something I'll be watching as well for a dip and rip to see if this thing can uptrend for more than just one day. And I do like how it also has a lot of volume as well. It does show that this can be different from all of these little baby run-ups here because again the volume is much better. This one was interesting, but it just kept downtrending. That's just unfortunate. And then with GGII, this one had no price action today. This one sucks. It just does not bounce at all, unfortunately. And then GEGI, you can barely see from when I had my trade because the chart kind of opened a bit late again because of the fact that it was glitched in the morning. Yeah, it just didn't work out that bounce setup I was in at 13.2 and I got out at 13.3. You can see my sell was right here at 9.52. It just didn't work out, but yeah, I did try it one more time for that 11 a.m. reversal. This one did not work out again at 11:18. It sucks, but it was a good attempt, and I traded it well. I didn't cut the trade until it looked like it was going to break the day low of 15.5, which it did do. I got out at 11:26. It did break below it, and I do like how, it was following this downtrending trend line, and then it broke past it, and then it kind of came back down, but it was no longer following the trend line anymore. This could have been something for a reversal. Just a little lame because it had a big green candle here, which kind of, means you're either in or you're not, because I'm not going to just chase it right here and put money into it. At least this thing bounces better than GGII. GGII just sucks. It just can't bounce to save its life. But it's not a huge surprise because it has always done that before. If we even go back a bit further, I mean, it kind of offered a bounce at this point right here, but this one sucked. This one was also bad. This one was bad. And then, the other one that's not really visible just doesn't really show that it can bounce. GEGI still isn't the best. At least it offers something from 11 to 12, which is not bad in terms of percent difference, but I mean, it got there all ugly looking. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be less interested in dip buying these when they're down a lot on the day. If anything, they end up being super nice short setups. That's pretty much it for today. I just, wish my charts were working. Who knows what would have been with TGGI if I could have been more profitable. It'll be a dip and rip setup, as well as ABQQ if it can try the move for more than just one day. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today.